How are you?
Great, great, Bob. Thanks for
You're
having me here.
and you're all the way in Mexico City,
Yes, I
right?
am. That's right.
Are you from Mexico City? Is that where you were
Born
born
and raised. Yeah.
and raised and went to school?
Uh, it's a Catholic school here in Mexico called Instituto Mexico or Mexican Institute. And then I studied my major in international relations in the Technological of Monterrey, here in Mexico City, and with a master's degree on political issues and geopolitics. So that's most of my major, and I've never worked in that. I first started working in a marketing agency, and then moved to the family's company that we started working with all these MICE industry meetings, incentive conventions, exhibitions, and that's what my dad used to do for all his career, and I kind of like it. So I started working with him. I lasted about 18 years working with him. We managed to create some great events. And my introduction to the tourism and the travel industry was because he used to organize the most important event here in Mexico for the travel industry that is called Tianguis Turístico. Many of you have heard of it before, and and well, in that event, all the states in Mexico will create huge pavilions, so all tour operators, travel agencies, wholesalers can go there and buy the products with the tour operators and everybody. So we get to know many people from the travel industry, and that is how I started working in tourism. After that, we started meeting some secretary of tourism of the state tourism secretaries, and that way we created them some strategies and started making some um, destination marketing for example, for Mexico City, for Puebla, for Acapulco, for many other destinations. And we started helping them creating some advice and yeah, advice campaigns in the United States, and also managing them to get to the international travel fairs around the world. For example, Fitur in Madrid, or IBTM in Berlin, World Travel Market in London, and others in the United States, such as IBTM or IMEX America, that it's called in Las Vegas. And that's why I started working and getting to know a lot more about tourism and the travel industry around the world. And after the pandemic, well, everything shut down. It was tough years for everybody, but in the trade show business, it was completely huge losses all around. So a really close friend of mine told me, well, there's this position at amdetur, so why don't you run the process and see what happens? And I started doing it. I met amazing people. I had many interviews to get to this position, and after 1 year of that, here I am, Bob. So that's, I don't know, like
Well,
a resume of my life so
that
far.
explains that explains why last year at the amdetur Congress, why it was as well organized as it was. You've got a history. You have a background, a professional history in putting shows like that together. I really
That's
enjoyed
right.
it. I mean, that was one of the more successful events that I'd been to, and successful by my standards means that even though I am language impaired, I still found it to be a very successful business venture for me to be there. So I intend to be there again, and it's interesting how I had people that worked for you and people that were at that show. They actually came to me and apologized for their English. That was one of the most humbling experiences I've ever had. So I want to ask you a quick question. We won't, I don't want to talk politics, but if you're like me, my degree is in political science also. And so I can't help myself. I'm a student, and I will always be a student, and I enjoy being a student. In fact, on my other monitor, you can't even hear it. I'm listening to the Supreme Court arguments about whether or not Donald Trump should be on the ballot. And
Okay.
I find because I'm such a junkie, one of the things that I have noted is that regardless of the political turmoil that we are both going through, Mexico, United States, it has not had a serious adverse effect on tourism and travel. Regardless, I mean, tourism and travel continues to grow in the U.S., and I'm guessing it continues to grow in Mexico, Latam, basically.
That's right. Yes.
Regardless
First,
of the politics.
yeah, and well, first of all, thank you for your comments regarding the Congress. Last year's Congress was, well, we changed a lot of things of how things were done in the past, and I think most of the people like it. So we're keeping that same path for this year's Congress, and well, we're really looking forward to seeing you there. Yeah, and about the things that you are saying, regardless the politics. Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that the pandemic showed us is that how important is for you to be outside, to explore new experiences. We spent most of those years only traveling not further than, I don't know, 50 miles, something like that. So you have to travel a lot more. You started seeing life in different perspectives. So one thing that has shown us after pandemics and maybe a little bit prior, but is that we are right now in a boom of the travel industry. Everybody's looking where to go. It's cheaper to travel. It's easier to do reservations. So you're just one click away from that. So I think there are a lot of things that are right now in the power of our hands, and it's really easy to plan a travel, and it's one of the best ones you can ever invest. So all the travel industry around the world is seeing this, and there are a lot of efforts going on in many different countries that want to see the travel industry as an economic engine to thrive and to be more successful. I mean, in terms of the people and the welfare of people around the travel business, So I think this is a really good time for being in this industry, and especially for our sector, that is the vacation ownership. I think it's also a great time because a lot of people is traveling more. There are so many people that are interested in not, for example, buying a house or creating an investment of those sizes, and maybe they have enough money to travel a lot more with less money. So that's something that everybody is looking for.
And that's part of the value of timeshare. I mean, that you can.
That's right.
You could go places and spend a week and spend half the amount of money that you might spend if you're at a hotel. And as you know,
absolutely.
As you know, and this may sound like a shameless self-promotion, and I guess in a way I mean for it to be, but then again I don't. The travel industry, the place where you and I live, they were the earliest adopters of feedback, and that feedback is meant by that, I mean surveys. And the reason that they were early adopters and continue to be more and more sophisticated in the way they're capturing the voice of the guest is designed to make sure that they continue to enhance the guest experience. So, and that's pretty much all over hospitality, not only timeshare, but certainly timeshare. Certainly the resort industry in general is more so sensitive to the brand standard than most of them. I mean, Hilton and Hyatt and those guys, everything they do is to enhance the guest experience because they want that guest coming back. in hospitality, we were the earliest adopters. I mean, the RCI comment card goes back 45 years.
Yeah, and we've been in this industry, and has always been a disruptive industry, so right now they're using a lot more technology, the new trends of technology that we have right now. Everything's done to enhance that experience, as you mentioned, and it's all about experience. I mean, personalization and how the experience is given to the guests. So I think we're we're in a good way right now. After the pandemics, we have all the gadgets around us to enhance that experiences, and we have a lot of people looking forward to travel. So I think it's an amazing time for being in this industry.
Now, one of the things that you and I have talked about that we're happy to sponsor for you, and that is asking the initiative that you have in partnership with the EU regarding environment and the environmental services.
Oh yeah, well, along with this, growth of the travel industry comes also a lot of responsibilities, and you have to see also what your guests are looking for, and this their mindset has already changed. Everybody's looking for if the destination is sustainable, if it's socially, if they help community, and if they are socially okay with their workers and with the community and all that. So looking for that sustainability. Here in amdetur, where we have like 5 pillars. One of them is sustainability that we started working last year, and we came with the EU for you. Sorry, in Mexico it's different, but
you're welcome to speak Mexican when I can understand.
No, sorry. With the European Union, and they showed us a project that they want to invest and to make it happen. So all the waste that a resort can produce throughout a year, they can process it in these reactors that they are eager to build in Mexico, and they will pay up to 70% of that investment. So all the waste of the resorts can be thrown in that reactor, and the outcome of that matter, it's reuseful, and for all whether if it's reuseful for the resorts or for the community itself. So there are many ways to help using these reactors, and we're working with them, seeing if the authorities are looking into it, and because they need the land to produce and to build these reactors. They don't need that much space, but they have a lot of things to work out. So that's something really important that we are doing, along with other things such as cybersecurity, digital transformation, and a compliance culture that you in the States have a lot of steps forward, are way ahead from us right now. And the other one is, this tourism with idea, that it's equality. Idea it's for equality, not to be disrespectful, also with accessibility and inclusion. So those are the matters that we are looking right now here in amdetur and with all our developers.
Those are ambitious. That
it is.
And but you know what? Virgil, the famous poet, said, "Fortune favors the bold." And I think we all need to be more aggressive, more ambitious about some of those initiatives. Now
and those are not, in long term, it's a work in progress. It's not going to be done right now. It has to be work in a few years we'll see what's the outcome of that. But I think you have to shoot to the stars, you know.
Yeah, well, because you're right, it's living, it's always evolving, it's, you know, it's always going to be changing. And I know that we're getting ready to deploy a survey for you for the One Initiative, and of course, you know, we'll find out whether or not your members want to put their arms around the sustainability. And my suspicion is that they are very prone to that they are that because I visited some resorts down there. One of the things that I noticed when I'm there is they're very proud of their gardens. They're very proud of their sustainable features. I mean, I've noticed
That's
that
right.
in a couple of resorts.
Because it's what their guests are asking for. You know, you are traveling. You know, you have to get on a plane. How many pollution does that plane produce? And then I go to this beautiful resort with this beautiful destination, and you are creating garbage. You are creating waste and all that. So if your waste is reused somehow, and somehow it also helps the community you are visiting, so everything starts making sense, because it's not just a trend, it's what people are asking for, and it's something also that you have to do in a moral basis, you know. So I think everybody gets something out of it, and it's something good. So I think it has to be done, and it's been done. There's a lot of things to do still, but we are on the right path, I think.
Well, I think, you know, I sit up here in the state of Indiana, which is located in the middle of the country in the United States. And of course, if I only paid attention to what the media said about Mexico, I would never go to Mexico. But then
I know.
again, I've been to Mexico, and I have found that I absolutely love it, and I love the people. You know, in the resilience of the hospitality industry in Mexico is a testament to amdetur. I mean, to Daniel and amdetur as a group that continues to promote the value of the vacation in Mexico.
Yeah.
So,
and you know what they say, bad news are the ones that sell good. So if you are going to speak to someone and you're in the news business, well, you have to create all the news that will do good to your business. So bad news are the ones. And yeah, we have some issues all around the country, and some of them really, really harmful for our industry. But also in the tourist destinations such as Cancun, Los Cabos, Puerto Vallarta, or even Acapulco, Manzanillo, Mazatlan. Well, there are so many. In those destinations, the main problem that we all have in Mexico is security. But in those destinations, it's somewhere where you can totally forget about that. I mean, the tourist areas are well protected. Nothing has happened as it happens inside the country, inside poor areas, for example, and that's something that we are telling our authorities: make tourism thrive here in Mexico, because it is shown by statistics that it helps people to start having a welfare around tourism. The states that are more propense to tourism, they grow double digit, instead of states that they are not in tourism, you know, focus. So we are telling them, this is our industry. This is something that really can help community and all the poverty, to end the poverty and all that stuff. So they are looking to tourism in a different way, and I think that it's something really to stand out, because it's the work of all of us, also as an association, and also from our associates that really are investing and creating this amazing resorts, these amazing places to visit, and to have the experience of your life, and well, after all that, it gives people jobs, and it gives money.
That's the real point, is the jobs.
It's the jobs that you build, and creating something really good. So I think it's an amazing industry that not all the industries have. This is a one industry that helps everybody around. Everybody is a winner. So the guest, the visitor, the developer, and the community. So everybody is happy with tourism, I think.
Well, we every now and again, I know in the U.S. there, a city will try to tax a resort. We'll try to throw an occupancy tax on it, and because in many cases, as you know, in the U.S., timeshare is a deeded property, which is not the case in Mexico. Mexico, you can't sell the land. You can sell the wheat, but you can't sell the land. So
Right.
different set of challenges, but challenges from regulatory nonetheless. But I have always felt safe in Mexico. I tell you what, last year when I came to the Congress, I flew into Mexico City and had a real nice driver who had a really very, very nice brand new BMW. And she picked me up and was going to take me to the Congress from the airport. And as you know, that can take anywhere from 45 minutes to 4 hours. Well,
it happens.
Well, she knew her way around, and I was just absolutely amazed. We'd be driving down the street, the city street, and an 18-wheeler would come in off of a ramp somewhere and get an inch away from her car and never touch her. I didn't see cars with scratches in Mexico City. It's a remarkable transportation hub, and beautiful. I loved it. I can't say enough about it. I'm looking forward to this next Congress. Which tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, so this Congress will be held in Vidanta. It's a crown jewel for right now here in Mexico, and it's going to be Vidanta in Nuevo Vallarta. It's also, the destination has also changed its brand, so it's now Nuevo Nayarit or New Nayarit. So it's really close to the international airport from Puerto Vallarta. And it's, I don't know, about a 15-minute drive from the airport. There's this amazing resort. So it's going to be there, and it's going to be June 4th and 5th of 4 and 5 of June. And we're looking forward to see everybody there. We have a lot of experiences in the marketplace, also networking opportunities and events around the Congress. We'll also be having 2 days of panels and Congress and conferences. We are preparing all the programs so everybody gets a piece of what we are looking for in amdetur, and the main things that we're going to be forging the future together. So that's something that we really want to create, to build an agenda together, and to make everybody start looking and trying to get to their businesses all the things that have to be done in terms of cybersecurity, digital transformation, sustainability, idea tourism, and also compliance culture. So that's the most thing I can speak right now. But in our web page, you can see all the information regarding the tourism. We're about 2 or 3 weeks time to create also the web page in English, so you all can see it and understand what we are doing here in Mexico as the Developers Association of Mexico.
I would be very grateful to see that website in English.
Yeah, it's going to be.
Although it is forcing me to learn. It's a catch-22 for me. It's good that it's in Mexican because I have to in Spanish because I have to.
Yeah, but we have to make it also in English, and hopefully next year also in Portuguese, because timeshare industry, as you know, in United States, in Mexico, and also in Brazil, is growing a lot. So amdetur is looking to gather all these players around and to create a vacation ownership industry altogether, bigger, stronger, and that's our main focus as well.
Well, let me know if I can help with that translation. I mean,
Thank you, Bob.
Our survey comes in 40 languages, so we're very accustomed to working with translation. And so the other part is that from the cybersecurity standpoint, I'm assuming that when you start talking about cybersecurity, you're also going to have some reference to AI. Is that fair?
So you cannot speak about cybersecurity if you're not using some kind of AI, also in digital transformation with all these chatbots and everything. So AI it's here. You're gonna change it. You're gonna stop it or slow it down. It's here. So what we have to do is to use it the best way we can, so we can take out of it the best outcome. So we are looking and working with some suppliers, especially suppliers of AI and also cybersecurity, and see how they do what they do, and try to put everything down in terms of practicity. How can our developers actually can use that technology to sell better, to prospect better, and to sell more, so that's the whole point of it. So we're looking into it, and we are seeing many options. We are creating also some webinars about these programs and projects and technology that is all around. So keep in touch and follow us on our social media channels, so you can get to know a lot more of what we're doing regarding AI.
Well, you can bet I will. I mean, in our technology, a lot of our clients are not aware of, and they because there's an element of trust, but the security protocols that we have to employ, because we're not working with our data, we're working with your data, we're working with that developer's data or that client's data, and it's their customers. And so when we're collecting that information, legally, technically, we're not responsible to protect it. They are legally responsible to protect it. But my goodness, the security protocols that we have in place, and that's something that I try to stress to developers everywhere, that all of the data exhaust that we leave behind, everything from a key, to a swiping at a grocery store, is all data exhaust, and that is all data that if it gets in the wrong hands, it hits the wrong dark group, then all kinds of nasty things can happen to it. And so that's one of those compliance issues where it intersects with security.
Absolutely.
GDPR, for instance, that's a security protocol for us.
And it's something that has to be done in a 360 way. You cannot only point to cybersecurity, because if you're doing that, at some point you have to start looking at digital transformation for all your processes. And also by doing that, you have to start creating something about compliance, how to manage all that data that you are collecting. And after that, you have to start thinking of how to protect, encrypt all that information, and to secure that information, because it's something that if it goes to the wrong hands, it can do a lot of harm. Not only to your business, not only to your club members, but to the whole industry. So that's why we are telling everybody that we have to go together as an industry towards the same direction in terms of all this digital transformation, cybersecurity, et cetera, et cetera.
There was a web designer 2 weeks ago
Hmm.
that was fined by it's the Office of Economic Opportunity in the U.S. that manages and regulates the ADA compliance of websites.
Okay.
Websites in the US and Mexico and globally actually have to conform to what's called the 3C standards, so that people that are maybe they are sight impaired or they're hearing impaired or they are, they have some disability, your website has to conform to those regulations.
Okay.
And that's one of those compliance / security things that people don't think about, but they need to, because their fines are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. When you
That's right.
consider that we send out 12 million surveys a year, every one of those surveys has its own URL. And so every
Hmm.
one of those surveys has to be ADA compliant.
Okay. Yeah, and that is just
As
one,
That's just one component.
part of the whole industry. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of work to do, a lot of also, making people aware of these things, and the responsibility that we all have, because we all have data that is important to everybody. So we have to be prepared and to do things in the benefit of the whole industry.
Yeah, and you have a panel on that, don't you? At this Congress coming up?
Yes, we'll be having this panel of these matters, with these issues, with all the specialists, and creating them all this awareness of all the damage that is out there, and the bad people, how they can use all this information, and what you can do to prevent that. So I think it's going to be really an important panel, and it's something that it's not going to be only for that panel. It has to create an agenda so we can start working on it all together.
Well, I'll tell you, from what you described as, the basic tenets of amdetur, I am really even more impressed than I was before, in that an awful lot of what you're doing leads towards social responsibility and sustainability. And for that, you know what? Good for us. Good for the galaxy. Good for good for all of us. So you want to talk about your charity?
Yeah, sure.
Because that charity,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a $50 is what I will contribute to it when we're finished, as a way of thanking you for your time today.
No problem. And we really thank you, Bob, because Save the Children is a charity that myself have been helping for a long time. All our events, when I was working in the family company, we have them invited so they can gather some money from our guests, from our exhibitors, from everybody. So it's a really good foundation. So what they usually do is help children to thrive and not to starve, to have education, to see how they can provide some solutions to their lives, for the children in extreme poverty and all that. So what they do is really amazing. It really touches your heart. So I really invite your audience to donate. There's a QR, so you can donate here in Mexico, or you can go to their webpage. It's an international foundation, so you can go there and donate whatever you want. So please do it, and you will receive after that information of how your money is used, and what they've done with that money, and maybe you can also be like I don't know how to say it in English, but you can be the sponsor of one children and at a time, and see how he's making good things, how he's studying, how he's getting some clothes, how he's eating, all those things can be done through Save the Children. So please if you are hearing me, please donate. It's something that you won't regret, because you will see the results.
Well, in the upper left-hand corner of this slide is the QR code for a page on our website called Sharing is Caring, where we have, there are 5 or 6 of our clients that have chosen to list their charity of choice on our website. And so I would invite you to do the same. That if you'd like, we can reach back out to you and see if you want to include Save the Children as your charity of choice on that
Absolutely.
website.
Absolutely, Bob. That would be great. Thank
Okay.
you.
You know, it's interesting too, the different charities that are guests on this program that they work with. I mean, there's Alzheimer's and pets and animals and kids, and and our particular charity of choice that we have one that has to do with children too. That's our future. That's that gets oversaid and it can sound trite, but it's what it is. So I've enjoyed this, my friend. You and I, we met, it was just about a year ago, I think.
It was GNEX San Diego,
Yeah,
I think.
San
We first
Diego.
met.
Yeah,
That's right.
Will you be going to GNEX in Miami?
Yes. In a couple of weeks, I will be there.
It's a beautiful hotel. I've been there many times. I'm sorry I'm going to miss it, but I've been to that hotel many times. It's a gorgeous place, and you'll be met with a lot of success, I'm sure.
Thank you, Bob.
Yeah, you're welcome. So I will, we'll just kind of wrap this up a little bit, and then I'll stop the recording, and then you and I can chat about a few things. What else would you like to say to put a bow on this? Register for the Congress.
That's number 1.
Go to that.
Or
go to the
maybe
QR code that's on that.
Yeah, you can contact us at any time, and we can schedule a meeting at any time to talk about what we are doing as amdetur, all the big opportunities that are here in Mexico for the travel industry, and also for vacation ownership. We have a lot of big developers, and also we are creating this community alongside with suppliers such as yourself, Bob. But there are so many other options that are out there that maybe can see in amdetur an ally, so you can get to know our developers and all that. So one way of doing is reaching out with us directly, or maybe through the Congress, or you can be there, and there are going to be a lot of networking experiences. So please join us, and you'll have a great time. I promise you that.
I will tell you that I will only go to 4 timeshare events this year. 3 of them have to do with ARDA, and then there's yours. And we may go to the RCI event in Brazil. We're still debating that one, but
okay.
yours is very much on the top of our dance card. We like I said, we were successful last year, and we had a lot of fun. That was the other thing. It was networking. It was fun to participate. So,
and we're making some other things to make it bigger. So that's number 2. Join us to the Congress, register there, and also follow us in our social media, because we are posting a lot of things of what we are doing, and there's also the podcast from amdetur, so you can see it. We're interviewing really important and interesting people, so please be aware of what we are doing, and you won't regret it.
I would only add one other thing, and that is there will be a survey that will come out. I don't remember what we decided. Was it March or April, regarding the sustainability program that you have? And
yes,
I would encourage your members to please respond to the survey.
Absolutely, Bob. Thank you very much for reminding that.
The more data, the better. I have people ask me, how much is enough? And my answer is always one more than I have.